Most veterans skip running, and they especially skip the 1 mile run test, even those who like running. But the truth is, the 1 mile run test might be the smartest thing you can do for your health. And no, it won't necessarily wreck your knees if done the right way. It can actually help you protect you from injury and even help you live longer. I'm Dr. Ray Peralta, physical therapist, run coach, and Marine veteran. And for the past 10 years, I've helped hundreds of veterans rehab injuries, get back in shape, and rebuild their strength without wrecking their joints. Today, I'm going to break down why the 1 mile run test is one of the most underrated tools in fitness, even if you never plan to run a marathon. I'll show you how it helps prevent injury, improves longevity, and even carries over into strength training. Stick with me because at the end, I'll give you simple steps to train for your fastest mile safely, smartly, and without burning out. So, what we're going to cover, why the 1 mile run test is underrated, even, again, amongst people who even run, everyday runners. The 5 biggest benefits for veterans, even if you hate running. How to train smart for your best mile, how to use your mile time to build a training plan that keeps you strong and pain-free. So 5 reasons every veteran should do the 1 mile run. So reason number one, you can use the 1 mile run as a baseline fitness test, right? So most veterans know how much they bench, but few know their aerobic fitness. See, the 1 mile run test gives you an objective snapshot of your heart, lungs, and muscular endurance. Without it, you're training blind, right? Some people actually call your gait speed, in terms for like older adults, walking speed as the 6th vital sign. But you could catch it early by doing a running, also as running speed, and just trying to maintain your fitness as you get older. Unfortunately, what happens, a lot of people, as they get older, they just stop exercising and they get slower and slower and they get more frail. And that leads to, unfortunately, risk of falls, getting a fracture because of the fall, because they're so frail, right? You see people who need like a cane or a walker to cross the street. So what you can do is to try to catch it, hey, you're in your 30s or 40s or even your 50s. Maybe you used to train when you're in the military, but now you're out. Get the mile run test so you can now set a baseline and inspire to start working out again. Reason number 2, build a foundation for a longer life, right? So running, even just for a mile, again, like I was just talking about, reduces the risk of heart disease, diabetes, stroke, and even depression, anxiety, right? It's not about training for a marathon. Now, if you want to train for a marathon, by all means, but it's about making sure, again, you're not using a walker or cane 20 years too soon. As a physical therapist, I've actually seen people who are 60 years old, right? Veterans who are now using a cane or a walker. I'm like, my own parents are, they're late 60s. I'm like, they're moving around and stuff, and it's doable. You don't you don't have to use a cane or a walker as you get older. The thing is, a lot of times what happens is people become very frail. Maybe they get injured, but then they never recover from their injury. They're not doing the proper rehab, or they just stop exercising altogether. And unfortunately, during the pandemic, there have been people who just kind of locked indoors all day. Then they got so frail in their legs that they ended up using a cane or walk, even though they're like 60 years old. So one of the ways you could help kind of prevent that is just start exercising, right? Start exercising earlier, right? And even if you're already 60, you can start exercising regardless. I've actually helped people stop using wheelchairs and walkers and canes just by getting them on a walking or running program. Obviously, if you're very frail, we'll start with walking, of course. We'll talk more about that later. Reason number 3, save loads of time, right? You don't need 60-minute runs, right? You don't need to be running an hour 5 days a week. You could train with the mile. So the mile run, and you could, derivatives of the mile run, right? There's a 12-minute run, 1.5 mile run, right? You could do these different, or even break it down into half mile, quarter mile, and you could do these kind of workouts in like 15 minutes or less, even if you're strapped for time. And if you want to make it long, you want to combine it with strength training, you could get both strength and running done in like 30 minutes when you're training just for like a mile run. This is including the warm up and the cool down, right? So even if we condense it to 15 minutes, that's just about 1% of your day, right? So there should be no excuses for getting this type of workout in. Reason number 4, major fitness benefits. So, a lot of people don't realize, even health professionals, like, wait, you can get health benefits from just 10 minutes of cardio? Yes. Even 10 minutes of running can help boost your mood, lower resting heart rate, improve insulin sensitivity. So insulin sensitivity is like, it will help you not get obese and not get diabetes. Or if you already have diabetes or obesity, it could help manage it, kind of lower those markers. And even sharpen your memory, right? A single mile run can unlock those benefits. Reason number 5, you can learn the art of pacing. In the mile, you find out fast, you find out really quick, right? If you went out too hard, right? If you gas out in the first quarter mile. So, training to pace yourself for the entire mile teaches your body awareness, breath control, right? how to, conserve your energy, and skills that can carry over into every distance and even daily life activities, right? So you could kind of pace yourself as you're doing things throughout your house. Maybe you're doing chores or just working, right? So there's so many benefits from training the mile, even if you don't like running. It's actually an easy thing you can add. And then you don't also have to run the whole thing. You also do run walk intervals. And now we're going to I'll talk about how to train for your first mile run, and especially if it's been years, maybe it's been 20 years since you ran, because the last time you ran, you were back in uniform. So step number one, start slow. So again, it's been years since you ran, start with walking, right? Just time yourself, do the 1 mile walk test instead of a 1 mile run, right? And then you progress from walking to run walk, and then just running the entire thing. And then you can look at your numbers, right? Whatever you got. Let's say you ran or you completed, it took you 15 minutes to run walk a mile. All right, you'll have your baseline, and then you can make a goal. Like, all right, let's see if you could get faster. If I recall, there was a research study that shows if you get your mile time to 8 minutes or less, it actually improves your longevity, right? You're able to live a bit longer and decreases your risk of like heart disease, I believe by like 30% or so. I have to look at the exact figure. But anyhow, just getting faster at the mile run can lead to the health benefits, and knowing what your times are will give you a baseline and then a kind of a roadmap of where to go, right? And then set a realistic schedule, right? If you're very pressed for time, you could train just 3 days a week, right? 3 days a week is fine. If you want to train more, right, you could go up to the 4 or even 5 days a week, but even 3 days is fine as well, right? So set aside like 20 to 30 minutes, 3 days a week, and then 2 days of the week, you could also do strength training. And yes, you can combine strength training and your running or run walk as well. So a common thing I like to tell people, hey, do run walk and then do a strength training session right after, right? So then you can kind of have it all in the same time window. You don't have to worry about like going to a gym or, having 2 separate sessions. And unless you want to, if you have the time luxury, you can spread it out like a morning session, evening session, or have separate days. For example, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you run, walk, and then Tuesday, Thursday, you do strength training. Step number 3, pick a safe route, right? So when you're going to test your 1 mile run, you want to know that you're actually running a mile. Simple thing is finding a track, most college or high school tracks. If you're unsure, ask the athletic director or the fitness coordinator at that university or school if if it's open to the public. Right, because you don't sneak into a college or school, some grown 40-plus-year-old trying to work out with kids. Right, ask the athletic director when it's open to the public. Oftentimes, like either early morning hours or evening hours, it's open to the public. Or if not, that's not available to you. Maybe you don't have access to that. You could just simply go in your car, drive out. Okay, this is a 1 mile distance. Have that mapped out, or use like a fitness tracker or a watch or a watch or a phone, right? Even most smartphones will help you track it. Go half mile out, half mile back from your home, and there's your mile done, right? And then, so your safe route, and then just do that. Now, if you don't feel safe training outdoors, just get a treadmill, and then you can do the same thing on a treadmill, run a mile or walk a mile on a treadmill. I still prefer the outdoors because sometimes the treadmill can be inaccurate if not calibrated properly. And you also get the benefits of being outdoor, getting sunlight, fresh air. And I'm sure like a lot of people probably find being outdoors more fun than being indoors on the hamster wheel. Step number 4, gear up, right? Get proper shoes, stopwatch, or an app, get comfortable clothes, right? So, if you want to like start adding this part of your routine, it's also important to be comfortable. Yes, you can train in work clothes. I've done this myself. I would go out in jeans and a t-shirt, or back when I was in the Marine Corps, I was running the camis, you do the boots. But now that you're a civilian, right, you're a veteran, you could also be comfortable. You don't have to be running in boots. You could get your running shoes, get your New Balances or whatever pair you like of running shoes, but make sure they're comfortable. If they're worn out, right, if there are holes in them, get them replaced. Don't be running with shoes with holes in them. And then you just want the proper gear. You don't want to cause like blisters or other issues. Protect your feet. Right, as an infantry Marine, remember a common thing I've been told by people, hey, protect your feet. And it still holds true even when you're out of uniform. Step number 5, try beginner workouts. So if you're getting back to running, it's been years off, a simple thing you do is like 200-meter run, 200-meter walk, and do that for 4 rounds. Or maybe you'll do quarter-mile run, quarter-mile walk, right? Do that as a workout. And then progress weekly until you're running a full mile. And no special pro tip, yes, you can do interval-style workouts. So even though let's say you could already run an 8-minute mile, but you still want to get faster, this is also going to be the way how you get faster. Maybe once or twice a week you do intervals. Maybe once a week you'll do repeat quarter mile intervals, all out fast at your goal pace, and then you'll walk or jog recovery. And then another day you may do a longer. So sometimes you actually go longer than a mile if you're someone who wants to really, optimize your running. So you maybe do a 3 mile run. So even though you want to optimize for a mile, doing two times or even 3 times the distance can help you improve your 1 mile run time. But this is for people who really want to optimize your running performance. Maybe you just want to run faster. This would be a tip for those folks who really just want to optimize running performance. But if you're just care about general health and fitness, you can simply just run, walk, and stay at the mile distance, 1.5 mile distance. So that's fine as well, in addition to the strength training, right? The important thing is you're consistent, because if you're not consistent, right, you just do this and you fall off, it's not going to do you any benefits. To really get the benefit of the 1 mile run, you have to be consistent, right? It's just not do it for a week and then disappear for the rest of the month. No, you want to be consistent for the entire month, right? And then month after month after month, you're consistent. And I understand that there's seasonal changes, right? So let's say, it's wintertime or summertime. You may have to take your training indoors. That's fine. Oftentimes I'll do that myself. I live in New York. So it gets, sometimes very cold outside. Don't want to run. Cool. I'll just go to the gym, get a little day pass or monthly pass to use a treadmill in the gym. That's fine too. Or if you have access to a treadmill, you have it in your home, do a treadmill at home, right? So don't feel that you always have to train outside. Or if you just want to mix it up, you can let's say running is just too much for you. You could also bike or do elliptical or rowing as the other forms of cardio. I just like picking running and walking because oftentimes you could just do them, just put on a pair of shoes and just go outside your house and go for a run or a walk. So a few years back, I worked with a Marine veteran who was dealing with chronic knee pain. He was lifting weights, but saw no progress. Once we started working together, I'm a physical therapist, so I helped him rehab his knee pain. But he saw no progress in terms of weight loss. So we started working together, and I told him he also had to do cardio. He thought it was just about weight training. I said, you also had to do cardio if you want to help lose weight, in addition to obviously proper diet. So working together, I got him on a run walk program tested out his 1 mile baseline. He dropped from 15-minute mile to 8 minutes per mile flat. He lost 10 pounds. And most importantly, he felt more energy for his kids and wife. Didn't get any future injuries. So we helped prevent injuries and no burnout and just smarter training. So you don't need to train for a marathon to get results. Veterans, your health and fitness and longevity can all start with just a 1 mile run. If you want to learn how to run pain-free, or maybe you just want to get faster or just train pain-free, check out my free training link in the description. And if you're serious about finally getting back in shape, I'm also running a free 5-day veteran fitness challenge right now. So message me on Instagram. I'm calling it the Veteran Reboot. So message me the word reboot, and I'll send you the link to join.